Towards the end of the Clone War, the Jedi were growing no closer to unravelling the mysteries of the Sith, and it was ARC Trooper 5s who nearly ruined the hidden intentions of the Clone Troopers. After watching close clone companion Tup be detained by the Jedi for his killing of Jedi Master Tiplar, the determined ARC Trooper did not leave Tup to the Kaminoans without becoming suspicious of their methods. 5s discovered that Tup had died as a result of a malfunctioning biochip implemented in all of the clones at the earliest embryonic stage, and they could be used to manipulate the army, despite the Kaminoans deeming it necessary to temper their aggressive tendencies. 5s eventually managed to isolate himself with the orchestrator behind the scheme in Palpatine, but the Sith Lord cleverly framed the clone as a failed assassin, whom eventually fell at the blast of Commander Fox, maintaining that the Chancellor was behind the war. Captain Rex never forgot the efforts of 5s, as it helped to save his own life and that of Ahsoka Tano's, but could the survival of 5s have helped to rescue more clones and Jedi generals? What if 5s had joined the Bad Batch? What would their combined might be able to achieve? As you'll discover, 5s and Clone Force 99 would make for a war-altering squad. 5s dived downwards into Coruscant's underworld in his stolen Flitnot speeder bike and into a warehouse on level 1325, eager to ensure Anakin and Rex understood the real meaning behind the biochips. Unbeknownst to the ARC Trooper, a probe droid had been following his every move, and he had little time to convince them. Anakin and Rex are trapped in a force field upon their arrival, and the desperate 5s pleads his friends to believe the influence of the Chancellor and that he was involved in the plot. The Coruscant guards quickly enter the area, and Anakin orders them to stand down and release him. Fox hesitantly deactivates the shield, keeping his blaster pointed at 5s at all times, as Anakin convinces 5s to join him in a trip to the Jedi Temple. The Coruscant guard, however, block their path, stating that the Chancellor had specifically requested his termination, so Anakin has to negotiate for him to be taken to the Republic military base and await a trial. Although it was delaying his death, it had bought them some time to free him. 5s is reluctantly dragged to a cell and watched over by the Coruscant guards, as Anakin had been intentionally distracted by Palpatine into his office. Rex, on the other hand, sat alone in the clone barracks, only accompanied by Commander Cody, and together they decided that the claim made by their friend needed to be examined, so they had to break him out. Knowing that the tough defences could not be breached on their own, they hesitantly approached a quartet of mismatched clone commandos, named Clone Force 99, and asked them for their help. Wrecker was keen to detonate the base, but this mission required stealth, and Tech brought up the schematics to the network of cells. The route to 5s was heavily guarded, but the clones were known for their 100% success rate and leapt into action. Using their status as clone troopers, the exterior turbo laser turrets are not an obstacle, but as they enter the detention area, they are stopped by a member of the Coruscant Guard. Rex tries to convince them that they are on a routine patrol tour, but the guard is not convinced and turns to notify his superiors. Cody uses the butt of his blaster rifle to uproot the chin of the clone, and Tech leads the charge to the cell of 5s, dismembering the clones in front of the double ray shields, then releasing him with the button on the outside. The ARC Trooper collects a fallen blaster rifle before the alarms go off, as the patrol officer's body had been found. Clone Sergeant Hunter is able to get rid of any mines that have been activated, then leads them into the airfield, where Rex left to take control of a juggernaut, running over any clones who crossed their path. But as they tried to leave, they were struck by a myriad of shells, and they tumbled into the streets below. Back in the Jedi Temple, Anakin had returned from his visit to his friend Palpatine, when he received a transmission from his master Obi-Wan Kenobi. The 5s had escaped. The Jedi Knight joined his master in the temple hangar, each taking a speeder to the military base to investigate the disappearance. The Jedi notice track marks leading to the streets, and soon they catch up to the slightly injured clone troopers and 5s, who stood defiantly in front of them. Anakin and Obi-Wan assure him that they were not there to eliminate him, but ask Rex and Clone Force 99 why they had to take such drastic actions, and they believe the 5s would have been executed, just as Palpatine had attempted to do. Anakin still cannot believe that the Chancellor was capable of such a violent act, but Obi-Wan does not sense any lies, and relays this to the other council members, who require the biochips of Fives and Tups for evidence. Fives looked in despair, as those were with Palpatine, who could have destroyed them by now, but at least Clone Force 99 was by his side. That is it for part 1 of What If Fives Joined the Bad Batch. If you'd like to see a part 2 soon, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel for more What Ifs, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.